So I'm approaching 680 games now, 1278, good luck. 1270 for my opponent, that's really good, so about double what I've done. So we're just going to challenge for the centre, try and get castle, then worry about what to do. Oh, he wants to really challenge the centre. I come forward, okay. How do I want to play a holding move, I'm wondering. I mean, I've got bishop up, but could get dangerous. I'll play a bishop up just to challenge the immediate push. It depends if he wants to do this. I can always drop the bishop back. And he has done that, so I'm going to drop back. All the way back though, otherwise down and you lose your pawn. Bishop here, obviously you can undermine the knight. So we'll just start again, but he's kind of committed to it now. But now he's just gone e3. I'm just going to go e6. I'm not going to bring this bishop out in a hurry. So e6. We create a kind of half threat to move the knight and come in and throw a check in. Right now I don't think it does a lot. Actually, I could redevelop the bishop now, couldn't I? I'm going to take the opportunity to redevelop the bishop now, because if he trades, I develop the knight as well. And if he drops back, then he could have just gone there anyway, and I've got the bishop developed in a move. That's what he's done. So now I'm going to play c5, because he won't be coming back, I don't think. So we're going to try and expand on the basis that he might be going queenside. Again, at some point there might be some sort of sacrifice might be useful. Might be, it might not. But now we're in a position where we can at least castle. But again, another pawn might fly down the board. Knight up is a very common sense, sensible move. Then we can try and push the center. We can maybe jump across depending on how white plays it. Yeah, he has indeed come forward to kick the knight. Very, very bold. Now, I assume I don't want to be putting the knight on the side, so I think coming back is the only logical move there. Now, he'll probably do h4. I guess the way he's played it, he could do f4 as well, but he'd probably do h4. I've still got the option to develop and try and go queenside as well. Knight up is probably my next move, but this knight up to challenge could be useful as well. Let's just see what he does. Yeah, he has gone for that one. Okay. That feels wrong, doesn't it? Feels wrong. So do I take the opportunity to push forward? He's got no knight out wide. It would give him knight in though. So I'm just going to stick to the first idea, develop. We can maybe hit the bishop, but we're just trying to make room so we've got the at least the option to castle. Probably queenside, and it probably should be for my opponent as well. Just the way that this pawn structure has landed up. Okay. So queen up would have been a move, but I've blocked and allowed knight across. He might actually still be going king side. I'm looking at knight up now. Bishop down seems fine. I can just trade. I don't see any reason not to. Although I could develop this knight. No, I'm going to play knight up and hit the bishop just because his knight has blocked the obvious retreat if he wanted to keep the bishop. But I still need this knight up as well and then decide where my king's going. If my opponent goes kingside, then obviously it's a lot safer for me too as well, but could easily go wrong. Right, we're going to take that. Now I'll just bring this knight up, I guess. Maybe bishop here, depends how he does it. Okay, let's bring the knight up. So at least we've got the option to castle in one move if we need it, but we want the option on the queen side as well, just because of this dangerous pawn structure. Now he comes forward. So I just want to drop the bishop back then. Right now, the knight lunge forward is covered. Okay, so he wants to push there as well. How do we do this? I don't like h6. Knight up. Not getting anything. I'm just going to develop the queen just so I've got the option to castle immediately both sides. Knight down is still covered. Yeah, he has indeed committed and gone like that, so I assume I want to go queenside, but then could be bad as well. It seems like the best of a bad bunch, doesn't it? So I'm going to go queen side, and then the next move shuffle the king, and then the rook across. And then we're going to start getting adventurous. We're going to start chipping away at the pawn structure if we can. Okay, so he's gone across. So he'll probably be doing the same thing as well. Rook over. I'm going to play queen up and just hit the pawn. So I've got to be careful not to be tempted to play this one too quickly. Knight up is a very natural move though. We get a tempo attacking the pawn. But what are we going to do after that though? Nothing glaringly obvious. So maybe h6 now and start chipping away at it. Whoa, what's he done? He's allowing me to take there. Is he seriously allowing that? Wow. It might be a poisoned pawn. I assume I want to take here though. Knight across, knight d5. I'm going to take there and probably put the knight in the middle. Now I know he's got takes. I'm covering it. I could devote the bishop as well, either way. Actually, yeah, what's wrong with bishop here? Pin the other knight. It's dangerous. So I'm going to do that, I think. I might trade the bishop for the knight because I'm a little bit bogged down in my position. I think my position's fine. I think it is, but you know, because my opponent's king doesn't know where it's going. If I trade the bishop for that knight, there's one less piece protecting my opponent's king. At least I've got a few pawns, only a couple, but they're there. If takes, we could try and double the rooks up, or we can just go with the queen, I guess. We'll just worry about it if it happens. Otherwise, I'm just looking at maybe trading here. Okay, just click anywhere to clear your markings. Let's see how he plays this. He's played rook up and ignored that as well. Wow. Well, that I didn't expect. So I like the idea of knight right in the middle of the board here, but again, is it creating any real threats? Knight here does create a threat. A double threat, actually, yeah. I'm going to go this way. Gives us an extra option to take back. He might be looking at moves like this. I might have actually underestimated that move there. Although if he goes there now in one go, I do have knight takes and I can hit the rook. But I don't want to be allowing something like this and creating a pin. So maybe I might have been better just to trade, but he can play rook across in any event, and I'm got a slightly dicey position. I guess I need rook across to charge this open file. Yeah, he's brought his knight forward. Okay, that's a good move, I think. Or is it? I mean, I've still got knight takes. Rips the position open, doesn't it? That feels sensible. Knight takes, queen takes. I'm going to take. I threatened to take the rook with a check. It's a very dangerous position now, but if he takes, I can take the rook with a check and then take back, I think. My rook guards my bishop here. It's a seriously dangerous position that he's played this into. Yeah, bishop e3, I still take the knight, knight takes rook on f3, I think. But you don't want generally like the queen guarding other pieces, because then if your queen gets deflected, you've got a little bit of a problem. It's gone back. So is it a move to go here? I don't think it is. Take, you take with a check, right? I could play the knight back, hit the rook, and unleash the queen potentially. That looks nice, actually. I'm going to do that. We hit the rook, but we potentially unleash the queen, depending on where the rook goes. Say he goes back. But my bishop will be loose then. If takes, I might have to take, but everything's still basically guarded, as far as I can tell. But it would be awkward having the rook here, or maybe even the queen here. Oh, he has taken. Okay. So I've lost a bishop, but I can gain a rook. But then what if he just takes here? Am I creating a mate threat? I am. So take the rook might be the move. he takes here, that's going to be checkmate, right? So take, but what if I'm blundering? If he takes here, it's still checkmate, right? So I think that's the move, and if he plays knight takes, I take back. I think I take the rook there, but I might be blundering. But I've created a mate threat because the king's got no escape thanks to the knight. So there is a threat there, as long as I'm not blundering something. Bishop down, I just simply take. Oh, he's taken with the knight, okay. So I can just take the knight, but I've still got this check. You can block with the knight, you've got options now, haven't you? So let's just take back. Half of our time has gone already. Okay, he's played queen up, offering the queen trade. I should snap that. I should do that instantly because that's got to be good for us. Yeah, I'm not going to mess about there. That's got to be good for us to get rid of the queen. So let's challenge the open file with the rook now. It doesn't mean it can't go wrong. Actually, it might be better bringing the king to the center. He's played bishop across. Now I might be able to push the pawn here. Takes, takes, takes. I just take the rook. Takes, takes. If bishop takes, takes, knight takes, rook moves somewhere. Pawn's undermined, it's simplified, but it's committed. You're committed to it. Yeah, rook across is the other option. That's probably the easier option, but I'm just going to push. I'm just going to simplify it, because if that bishop moves, I can take his rook. Okay, he's pushed forward, logical and good. So I think I will have to drop back now. If he plays rook down, I'll have to play rook up, but at least it'll challenge him immediately. If he takes now, I can go with the bishop. I'd love to get the bishop off the board. If I get pieces off the board now, we're up in exchange. It simplifies. We're up a pawn as well, aren't we? It simplifies, it lowers risk. A very dangerous game. Okay, so he has played rook down, so now we can just chop that bishop. And then a move like rook up or rook across. I'm just going to be simple to start with, I think, and play a rook across. Then we've got this rook over, and then the rook will definitely get traded if he doesn't do anything about it, because he can't run away this way. So that's the immediate threat. But we're up in exchange, and we're up a pawn. I think I just push here actually now. Here, takes, takes, knight takes, pin, pawn down, pawn up. It's making it a little bit messy, isn't it? If I just go here, it simplifies everything. I mean, I could just grab a pawn, lose a pawn, take another one, but am I blundering up? No, I think I push, because if he takes, I take back with a check. Then I'll just activate both rooks, or I'll try to activate both rooks. Oh, he's played knight fork. Now that wasn't a move on the radar. Did not expect that at all. So again, I've got the immediate rook up, and what does he do? If he checks, we simply take, move our rook somewhere, the knight will get trapped. So rook up is probably a good move. It looks good just to take. Yeah, let's just take. The knight's pinned for a move. We've got rid of a pawn. Now I've still got the same option, or I can take here. He can take here, but it's got to be good to get one of the pieces off. So let's hope I'm not blundering here. If I am, I am. Takes, 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 and then just shift the rook somewhere. Looks good. Oh, he's gone for that check. So we take. Now we can just grab a pawn, but I'm just wondering whether I can trap the knight with, say, a rook across. And then where does the knight go? The escape path is cut, so go here, and then king across. That should be good enough, but very dangerous game. You see why it's very easy to go wrong in these games? I'd lose such a lot of rating if a game went wrong, even with a draw. And I'll gain nothing for a win. Okay, let's take. It's just a case of tidying up now, not blundering a stalemate. Yeah, to be a bit neater, I should have pushed the pawn there just to keep it forward, but I'm not bothered about how I win games, if they're technically good or not. I just want to win the game. He's got to try and put his king in a position where it's a potential stalemate risk. I'll just run the pawn up. Okay, now I can just push. Pawn down, I guess I'll just take and let him take. Just lower the risk, or I can even just queen now. So queen, let him take. I mean, I can just... Taking, you know, don't do anything where you give a silly outside chance, and then you suddenly do a mouse slip and he gets a new queen or something. That could happen. So just got to make sure the king's got at least one legal move before you get your queen. I know it's just a case of paying attention and not stalemating. But if you give a check, it's never a stalemate. So let's check here now. Now check here. We're just going for the simple ladder mate. But it's been a really good effort by my opponent, and it really, really good. Very dangerous game. So we get the win there. It'll be interesting to see what the engine says of how we actually played that. 53 moves we've done there. So they're the move times. Now we just put it through the engine. I think it was a relatively comfortable game, but one that could easily go wrong because the opponent played that a really dangerous way. Really dangerously there. So one slight little slip and it's a calamity, isn't it? Yeah, 94% versus 90%. No bad blunders anywhere. So the opening he's played is actually, you know, just a very dangerous opening. 16 for my centre pawn. That's my average is 32. My opponent 35. So he just put a game in line, at least on the figures, how I would normally play an average game. But really, really well done to my opponent there. So very good.